Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Cassandra Bradford, and you are watching Business First with me, Dr. Cassandra Bradford. And I am so excited to have my longtime friend, Ken Lamothe, joining us this morning to talk to us about credit. I know y'all don't want to talk about credit. I'm telling you, I don't know why. Why is it that people are, I would say something, but I'm trying to hold my mule over here.
Hold
Why
it.
is it that people are afraid to talk about, they're always afraid to talk about money and credit? I don't know why. It's maybe because they don't have any money and the credit is always messed up, or it's like a taboo. I don't want to talk about it. But we can talk about chicken.
Yeah. Chicken and cake, right?
Chicken and cake. There you go. So how you doing, Ken? Tell
I'm
everybody who you
good.
are and the name of your company and how you
All that
got
stuff.
started and what you're doing.
Uh, my name's Ken Lamothe. Originally born and raised in Louisiana, great old state, down in the boot. Name of my company is Credit Education Group. And we kind of got started by accident, really. Simply got started 22 years ago, went to purchase a home and got the house pretty much built. 95% of it was done. And the guy came in and said they needed to have a conversation with us about something we didn't know. So we go in there and he says to us that we can't buy now unless we came up with 50,000. And because something popped up on our credit. And I was like, okay, what is that? He couldn't really say. I said, so what do we do? He said, unless you have the 50,000, there was no way that anything we can do in 2 weeks because we were supposed to be closing in 2 weeks. So that started me on my journey at that point. So I vowed that I will never be in a position where someone can tell me no and I do nothing about it. So here I am now, 22 years later, doing the same thing.
So now, a lot of us, when we start talking about credit, we know that there are like what three credit bureaus out
Three
there.
credit bureaus. Well,
Eh,
there's more, but those what we call the big three,
The
the
big
Experience
three.
Union, yeah, Experience TransUnion and Equifax, the big 3.
And
Mhm.
so we know about those credit bureaus because we know about them, but we don't look at them. We don't go visit. We don't go over there and have sweet tea with them.
Right,
We just know that they exist, and they talk about us and they tattletale on us and they always say no
right.
to us. So, which bureau maybe should we be looking at? Let's say if we're going to buy a house, or which one should we be looking at if we want to just go out and buy a washer and dryer? I don't
Well, and that's a good question. Though it depends. So when you're talking about buying a home, they look at all three collectively, and they pull the mid score. And so from that point, it could be a mixture of things as far as your scores go. And but when you're talking about buying a one-off item like a car or like you said, some appliances or things of that nature, the best thing to do is to call and find out who they do pull from so you don't waste your time going there and getting an actual unnecessary inquiry on your credit file.
So now, okay. So we got to talk about now. You have a program that I absolutely love, and I'm gonna let you say it because you may have changed the names. Names could have been changed to protect
Still,
the innocent.
still the same. It's still the same. So
The
we're talking
name could
about
have been changed to protect the innocent, but I sat in on a workshop of yours, and man, I started just telling everybody. People thought I was a credit professional,
yeah,
right? I can't even
right.
spell it. And
So,
so
so
tell everybody about how they can get money from phone calls. Because y'all know y'all get these robocalls from people that
right,
they're not even
right,
robocalls. Y'all know y'all owe this money.
right. So we call that credit in the mail. I mean, money in the mailbox, right? So money in the mailbox because answer your phone so you'll know who to get your check from. So
But wait a
basically,
minute, wait, I gotta interject.
uh,
I've seen Ken do this, and he is so calm, cool, and collected. You know when bill collectors call y'all, right? Collection agencies, get off my phone, don't call here, or me no live here, right?
right. Me no speaking no English.
But Ken wants to talk to him. He wants to engage in conversation with him. And what did y'all eat for dinner last night? I'm like, Ken, you too calm.
Yeah,
When they
yeah.
so Ken said, answer your phone. So I'm sorry,
Answer
keep
it.
going.
Answer it. Lay hands on it in the name of, and so they can call you. But the reason why I'm like that is because, again, from doing this for so long, and I'm comfortable because in most cases I know the questions and the answers. So when I call them, they don't know. Their expectancy is that most consumers don't know. So, I did what they did for a long time. So answering that call sometimes could afford you anywhere from $500 to up to $1,500 per call after you tell them not to call. So if you don't answer, you can't say stop.
Did y'all
Don't
hear
answer.
$500? That okay. So how many times did they call you this week? You gonna get more than a stimulus check.
Right. That could be your new stimulus.
It could be your
Ongoing, ongoing, right? Money in the mailbox, COVID
slash.
slash COVID. Yeah. And and the thing about it is though, in was it 2019, we did over $15,000 just from that very thing, phone calls. Just from phone calls. Not one time did we ever go to court.
Wow, man! Please let my phone. I'm holding. He said, lay hands on your phone.
Yes.
Call me right now, because I'm
Answer
going to
it.
start documenting. Who you from?
Unplug. Because a lot of times what people are doing is they're blocking those calls. Now, some of them are probably, your what's the one that's going around now? The
Home
uh,
car warranty.
yeah, the warranty call, the IRS call. The other call is the one that they're talking about to they're gonna cut off your social security card because there's some activity going on. And then they ask you this crazy question: what's your number? You
Don't
know,
you know if you with the Social Security office?
man, it's some people from off in Pakistan somewhere, no disrespect to those individuals, but it's that's where they're calling from. So if you guys do get that IRS call or that call from the Social Security Administration, just hang up the phone. It's all scam.
And another scam is, and I heard Ken say this in a workshop, when people call you to verify your information, that doesn't
Oh,
mean you're supposed to give the information.
exactly.
Is your name Cassie? Don't you know
Tell
what?
me.
You tell me. You calling me.
That's it.
Can you verify your date of birth? Well, you tell me what it is first, and I'll
Right.
see if I
And
want to
I'll
answer.
verify it. Exactly.
And I'll see if I want to answer you. Well, I don't understand when you want to verify. Okay, tell me what it is first.
Right. And the problem is just that, we don't pay attention to the actual verbiage that individuals are saying to us. So it's like if you say, like you said, if you call and say, hey, I need to verify your, the last four. Well, no, I won't be giving you that over the phone. Can you verify this? The word that they use is verify. So that means that you tell me and I tell you if that's correct or not.
Right.
Otherwise, you need to say, can you give me? That would be the proper terminology. And I still might say no.
No.
It
Right.
just depends. So my social, no, I don't give to anybody.
Right. I don't verify my date of birth, my social, the last four with anybody, especially not over the phone, because you don't even need that to hack into somebody's credit, right, Ken?
Nope. If you have enough pertinent information, your name, your address, your full name, without that, they can start going into things because what happens is in certain cases, people are able to do what they call a soft pull on a person's background or file without using your social.
See, did y'all hear that? Now, uh, so tell us what's going on in the world of credit right now, where you're seeing where people are either being abused, misused, or something on their credit file that you like, okay, why is this so random on everybody's credit file?
I'll tell you what it's been the same thing. Is nothing has changed. The only thing that's kind of changed is how sometimes the tactics are being done. What most people have to always realize is that I would suggest anybody, I don't care if you even have just Credit Karma, have some type of presence where you're able to look at your file and see what's there. Just see what's there. The biggest issue is people don't check. And they only check when they then need it. Then it's too late and now people are in a rush, right? So the biggest thing is just that always check your file. Look and see what's there. I've been using stuff since I can't tell you how long. I made a bunch of people rich just paying my monthly fee. I just feel naked if I don't have something that I can go and look at. So when I want to make a purchase, I, I'm seeing what's there, right? So I know, okay, I should be good here. So I go do what I need to do, but most of us don't check because it's a fear factor. If you think that you can't buy something, can't purchase it, at least you'll know why. Look at it and see, and at the same time, it could be some more money in the mailbox for you just by checking.
Also, tell me how I can get more money in the mailbox.
Yeah. So, for example, let's say you have issues on your credit report and you do what we call a true factual type of dispute, right? So you dispute something, you see it on there, and you honestly don't recognize it. Doesn't mean it's not yours. You just don't recognize it. Okay. And and let's say it's from a debt collection company. So that debt collection company places it on your credit file, and you're like, I don't understand what this is, why you are asking me for anything, blah, blah, blah. If you send them a particular type of notice and they don't do certain things based on what the federal statutes say, you could dispute it one time. And if they don't do it right or send you the wrong thing, that's it. They will be owing you.
I mean, would it be owing you the amount that they said they're asking for?
No, but what
Okay.
it does is it gives you leverage. It's at a minimum $1,000 that they will probably give you. Well, let me correct that. The statute says up to 1,000. Typically, they'll offer it to you, right? And so what happens is that when they offer it to you, you also then negotiate that the debt be eliminated that they allegedly say that you have. Because part of the defense that I use a lot of times, because I do a lot, like you said, over the phone with clients. And what they don't recognize is that when you tell them that you dispute something, if they don't put it on your credit report that you said it was in dispute, guess what? That's a violation of law. And it's supposed to say that the consumer disputes this account. If it doesn't say that, you could potentially be awarded, from that as well.
See, I'm about to get paid, y'all, because I know some people looking for me for hospital bills. I don't know,
Something.
something, and they have no right,
They
something.
don't.
So now let me ask you a question, Ken.
Okay.
So let's say that you owe JC Penney's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I want to use JC Penney's. They've been they
Because
hurt
they
me.
still open.
And they've hired this debt collection or this collection agency, James Brown Collection.
James Brown.
You never signed anything with James Brown.
Right.
So
Right.
why would you even talk to James Brown to give James Brown Collection Agency any money?
So here's to me what in my opinion, the best defense with that is that even though you didn't sign a contract with that company, here's the deal. They call it a debt. And this is the main point that we miss. They call it a debt. So then you need to understand first what that is. What is a debt? So the federal definition says that it has to be a debt, or a debt is considered a debt when someone extends you credit and creates a debt. Well, they don't extend you anything, but
Right.
yet they call it a debt. The second part of that is that there's an actual definition that gives you the definition of debt. And it basically says that it had to have been an obligation by way of a transaction. And you've never done that. So what am I saying? If there was no transaction that ever happened that obligates you to that person and they never extended you anything, guess what? It's not. It's not a debt. But yet they're asking you for the very thing that they call a debt. Well, you owe blah, blah, blah. You don't have to say, well, I don't owe you. Just say, show me the obligation and the credit that you extended to me that created this. That's it. If you can't show that to me and yet you keep calling me and asking me for it, I could potentially file a case against the harassing phone calls because you have not established the so-called thing that you're calling me for.
Wow. See, I have now. I got ammunition now, and
Yeah.
you should too. I mean, now you know. Now you up here waiting for the wrong phone to ring. You over there going,
Yeah.
hello, 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 hello. Are you call? Oh, man, ain't nobody call me yet.
Yeah.
They normally
Yeah.
call around this time. You waiting
Exactly.
for the phone to ring.
And this is the
Lord,
time income
please
tax
let
time
the
because they know
phone.
you got some money coming.
Please, Jesus, let the phone ring. Jesus, why the phone ain't ringing? Do you hear me, Lord?
Yeah.
Right. So, wow. Now you know Man, this is invaluable. Now you know what to say when you get these calls. Hey, show me. You said show me the obligation.
Show me the obligation.
Show me the obligation.
And see, because what happens is the statute never uses the word contract. It uses the word obligation. When you look up the word obligation, it says by way of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so the words that you use makes a difference. So when you say show me a contract, don't say show me a contract. Show me the obligation that makes me from what you've extended to me that I have to pay.
Right.
And if you can't, then under the law, they violated what's called the validation or verification. You can't say just because you owe me, you know what I'm saying? How do I owe you? Ask
Right.
them.
Show
So
me the
so
obligation.
that's it. You know, so people should not be afraid of what it is, embrace that, fix it, and then move on to the things that you really want to do, whether it's buying the house, expanding the business, getting lines of credit, getting the car, whatever the case might be. Sometimes we're hindering ourselves, right? Because we're afraid of what we don't know, right?
Now, let me ask you a question because I know there are companies out there that say, "Oh, you can go and write these letters yourself." People like me who don't have time. I don't have
Mhm.
time to sit up here. That's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is what I do on a daily basis. Is not write letters. Can they hire somebody like you to do this,
They can actually hire someone like us,
or hire you?
do it.
Period. Can we
Yeah,
just hire you?
yeah, they could come. Hey, look, they can look us up on Credit Education Group, all social media, Credit Education Group. What we're transitioning to is because we don't necessarily want to say you will help you. We want to help through the process, not necessarily just do it for you. If you say, well, look, I just don't, cool, then we'll help you. Because I think part of what our problem is that we give our whole life to someone else. And then when there's a question, you have to go ask somebody else about your stuff. So we want you to be more involved in it. So we're actually creating a process and a program that's going to allow us to actually physically walk you through the complete process, but you're going to do it yourself.
But what about people who don't want to do it themselves?
Fine. You come to us
Yeah,
and
because
we'll help you.
I need help, but I don't want to do it myself because I just don't have that kind of time. I need my credit to be crystal shiny, but I need somebody else to do the buffer.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely do it with you. Basically, we're going to go through everything. Our process is a little bit different because when I go through your file, I'm looking automatically to see what's wrong with it. I don't care if you think you owed something or not. I don't care. The way that I class it, there's two things. There's conduct and behavior, and then there's debt. So which is it? So when you look at your credit report, most times it's not about debt at a certain time. So at when I mean by certain time, if an account is charged off, right? You had an account with JC Penney and you defaulted. Life happened. Okay. So here's the issue. JC Penney stops it. They charge it off. They still hold it. They haven't given it or sold it to anyone yet. They still have it. So what do? You try to negotiate. That don't work. No, we want the whole thing. You can't put nothing on it. They want everything, right? They want everything. So what happens? So your defense then becomes, because this is stuff that you don't know, is this. What happens is that they have, depending on when it was, let's say you got it defaulted last year, 2020 and or 2019. Now some time has passed. So what's happening is that they've gotten a tax write-off, a tax credit. What does that mean? That means that the debt that they claim that you owed, they got a credit for it, but they didn't extend it back to you. And or they have an insurance claim that they file on it, just like we would.
So
Somebody
let me
stole.
wait. Can I
Mhm,
interject? Now that's just like I have a friend of mine who had a car repossessed,
mhm.
and they repossessed the car and they sold the car. And the to me the company was made whole because they were the one who accepted whatever they sold the car for.
Yeah.
I mean, are you still I mean, but they still have it on your credit that you still owe them $50,000, but they sold the car at auction and got, let's say, 40,000.
Hmm.
How can they still come after you for 50,000 when they got 40,000 for the car?
Well, typically what they'll do is they'll come after you, like you said, for that deficiency balance. So typically, if you owe, I don't know, let's say you did have a $20,000 balance, You got 20,000, they went to auction, they sold it for 10. So now you have a $10,000 balance. Sometimes they don't update it. Sometimes they do. But it now becomes your job to make sure that they sold it. Because here's what happens. A lot of times these dealerships will take the car back and never sell it at auction. They resell it again, right? So they're now getting that money twice and then come back to you and holding you to the so-called contract. Well, you didn't pay the contract, right? So you don't know that it was sold. That's an assumption that it was sold. I done ran across it too many times where they don't sell the car. They just tell you that they sold it, but you don't see nothing from an auction slip. You don't see nothing. They just send you a statement that says, okay, we sold it. Here your balance. You still owe us this. No, you filed a claim of loss. You got compensated for your loss. Now they're trying to hold you to the obligation of the contract. Doesn't work. You can't slip and fall in the store and say my neck and my back. You get your 50,000 and then come back and say, ooh, it's hurting again. I need 50 more. It's done. It's a done deal.
See, this is why you guys need to hire somebody like Ken at Credit Education Group, because I know you guys probably said, okay, I'm gonna go pull my credit. It's some stuff on there, and I'm just gonna close the folder because I don't know what it means. I just know I can't go out and buy an extra lollipop.
Right. Can't get free water. Can't get free water.
So I interrupted you. So I mean, I go on with the story because this is some good stuff, and people, this is now was the time. I mean, you people are looking to, downsize or buy a smaller house, but now COVID hit and you only got one income and you're afraid, you don't know what's on your credit, or people like, okay, I got to buy a car. I'm getting my stimulus check. They said on the news this morning that the money gonna be in my account this afternoon, right? And so I got a car on layaway on hold.
But I will tell you this though. I think, in my opinion, that this is probably the better time, even though it's the time that we're in, to start really getting your stuff in line, because these companies right now who sell whatever are looking at the fact that people have lost jobs and people income is not quite the same as they used to be. So what they're saying is they're giving you more incentives to come. They're slashing some stuff, right? So that you'll get a better deal on, because I just experienced it. I just bought a car a month ago, and I asked the guy, I said, why has this car been sitting here for so long? And what he told me was, he said, nobody could get financed, right? So it's sitting there. And I'm just like, wow, okay. So since it's sitting there, nobody could get financed. How about you take this for it? And he says, oh, I don't know if they'll do that. Hey, let's see. That's my offer. All right, I'm paying cash. So he went, they gave it to me. They gave me what I asked for, right? You don't know how long else it's going to be sitting there, right? So they gave it to me. So I think right now is the best time. If you are working from home and things like that, you have a little time on your hands, invest back into yourself and start getting those things done. It's not as hard as people think, but you have to invest, in yourself. You can't just be like, and just pass it off. Know what's going on. You need to know.
Man, and what about, because you told a story when we first started the interview about how 20 something years ago you were looking to buy a house, and here it is, you probably all packed up, ready to go. You done got the cable transferred, and then they tell you, voila, you need an extra 50,000. That ain't $50.
No.
50,000. You ain't even got an extra $50.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you do in a situation like that? You're looking to buy a house. They spring it on you at the last minute. Mm-hmm. And so what do you suggest? Do we need to pull our credit? How many months in advance? If let's say we're looking to buy a house by August, and this has been aired in March. Mm-hmm. Is that enough time to say, hey, let's look at the credit. Let's go and dispute some things. Let's get some things paid. Let's go in here and so you can boost up your credit score. Is that enough time?
It depends on the person. It could be. And I would say in most cases, for what I'm seeing, it's not. It's not. Because you don't have enough time to save up the money that you're going to need if you're going FHA, or, if you do have some blemishes from COVID, the bureaus have been taking a lot longer to respond and things like that. So the things are not the same as they were before, pre-COVID. So I would say give yourself at least 6+ months if that's what you're looking to do to buy, but you always want to do your preventative things first. You want to look at your file. You want to see what's there. Look at the areas. Now, this is before you contact anyone, you know, based on the area that you want. Look at the tax roll and see if that might be potentially out of your, out of your scope. Go to bankrate.com. Bankrate.com is a free service that anybody can use that tells you what the interest rates are. They have calculators there that you can kind of get an idea of what it is. Because most time, if you go to Zillow and all of these other guys, Trulia, and looking at properties on there, and they tell you, oh, you could buy a house for the same thing you're paying in mortgage or rent. Well, you do, but the problem is they don't give you tax and insurance. It's just principal and interest. So you think, oh yeah, I can get it, and then they hit you with that tax, which is another $300, $400, $500 a month. You're like, wait a minute, they lied. No, they tell you it's not pity, it's just principal and interest, not tax and insurance. Yeah, that's what this is like: principal, interest, tax, and insurance. So that's pity.
Pity.
Yeah.
You don't have pity on you.
Yeah, they won't have none on you. Because when they say no,
no mean no.
Right.
And so, okay, so how do they get in touch with you? I know we're coming to this time went by so fast. How do they get in touch with you? I know you got programs where people can do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're doing consultations or if you're, looking, doing share screens of everybody looking at the same curve. How do they get in touch with you?
They can contact us directly at crediteducationgroup.com. You can actually just, matter of fact, call the office, 817-200-7814. Call us directly there. We're on Instagram, everything, again, Credit Education Group. And really, it's about us trying to help empower the folks for their future. So yeah, you can reach us on all social platforms on the Credit Education Group.
So listen, you have any workshops or anything coming up, Ken, in the next few months? Because people, you need to get in touch with Ken Lamothe with Credit Education Group. You have questions about your credit. You need someone to maybe write some letters or dispute. Now, I'm gonna say this. I know we're out of time. I know you've been helping people who are in foreclosure.
Foreclosures. Yep. If you're going through that foreclosure process, and even if you need just a little time extension, we could potentially help you with that. It's not a hard process. It's just a process that most people don't know. You could go through modification, and if the modification don't work for you, because a lot of times they don't, it seems like it'll work for you, but there's no reason that you should be in an extended mortgage for 40 years on top of the time that you've already been there, because then your kids will never own it. So sometimes it's best to just buy yourself some time and start over. Especially with everything that's going on, you might get even better deal.
Wow. So you guys, we are out of time. You have been watching Business First with me, Dr. Cassandra Bradford. My special guest is Ken Lamothe with Credit Education Group. So listen, you guys, if you need some help with your credit, you want somebody to talk to you about it, get in touch with Ken. But we are run out of time, and we got to close this segment out. You can watch the replay on YouTube. So go Google Cassandra Bradford on YouTube, and you'll be able to catch this recording.
Somebody's calling already. Listen, I'm still doing the live. Can I call you right back at this number, right? Yeah. Okay. I'll call you right back. Thank you so much.
It works. So listen, it's been great today. I'll see you guys at the top. That's all for now. Bye.